through your view of how the game panned out?
Thought we started incredibly well. Obviously had to change things from the other night. Injuries again and a big loss with Ashcroft. We decided to play a different way and try and build the play much better than we did the other night, and I thought the boys did that. I thought they were brave in possession. I thought we got a grip of the game early on, and plenty of penalty box entries didn't quite fall for us at that stage to create a real clear-cut opportunity, but I was pretty pleased with how things were going. And then just a wee mistake where press, they get a wee break of the ball and you find yourself further behind. So that's incredibly difficult when things are going your way. I felt at that time, and just before half time you lose. Obviously the second goal then just kills the tie, and I thought the boys, a real credit to the football club, the way that they kept trying to play and trying to get up the pitch even when the game looked gone at times, and I think that reflected with the fans and how they stayed behind, and I appreciate everything the players did for them.
Yeah, obviously after games like this you don't want to be talking about the fans, you don't want to be talking about winning the game, but that atmosphere coming from the away end was something you don't really see in Scottish football, especially right till the end.
Amazing. I mean, the fans at this club, it goes to show you what a big club this is, and the connection maybe was missing, and I think that's easy to see why. Maybe the product on the pitch wasn't good enough. The playoffs looked in jeopardy, and it's so important for this club to reach the playoffs. So important for this club to get back to the Premiership. In the first stage is the playoffs, and at one stage that was in real jeopardy, of course. So I can understand why there was frustration, and the fans. But I think they could see the hard work we're putting in, and I hope they've seen the hard work we're putting in, because it has been a tough ship to turn, and it's never easy coming in when a manager loses their job. But we've taken this seriously, this job, and I know we had a bit of social media interaction when we got Manager of the Month, and we opened the doors to show that bit of light-heartedness, and that's to show that the spirit was turning around. And some people just aren't happy with that. They think football players shouldn't have a personality, so we get a wee bit of criticism for that. But once the cameras were away, we were serious about our work, and I thought we constructed things in the right way. I thought we then picked up at the right time, and I thought the results we got were never by luck. They were by hard work and constructing an idea and the players carrying it out. So I think the fans can appreciate that, and that's what got the connection tonight. I think they could pretty much see the guys were out on their feet. Players were dropping, young guys were coming in, all pulling in the same direction for the one cause, and we just couldn't get over the line this time. But I'm pretty sure if that connection remains the same, the club get the decision right in the summer, then Partick Thistle can make a real go at getting back to the Premiership next year.
Well, the season's obviously finished for you guys now. Have you given a thought to your own future? Do you want to remain in charge here?
I think so. I definitely. I mean, look, I joined the club 18 months ago, and I knew how big a club Partick Thistle was, but I was delighted to go into a youth development side to try and develop players for this first team. And obviously there needs to be a kind of player trading model within here to move players on, make the first team better but move them on. So I was quite enjoying that job, and I think as soon as things moved on, Brian and I have got that connection pretty well. You need to trust young players, so it's been great. I've loved the 3 months or whatever it is I've been in here. I've loved the low moments where we've been beaten a couple of times. I've loved trying to figure out the game plan, how to get us to the playoffs, or what's the right message to the players. I've loved coming up against guys like David Martindale, experienced managers, and John McGlynn, and guys like Scott Brown, and getting results. So of course, once you get a taste of that, and once you work with this group of players who have been excellent, because I think it's quite easy for players to turn away sometimes or think the season's gone when a manager gets sacked, but they reacted really positively to us, so that gives you that kind of taste for it as well.
Do you think, sorry to interrupt, do you think you and Brian have done enough to get this job?
I think we've done all that we could do. I mean, to reiterate it, it's been 6 and 7 days a week for us. I mean, 12-hour days. Often the first in, the last to leave. Obviously because I've got the under-18s as well. A lot of sacrifices when I took the job on. I had a trip to New York planned for my son's 18th birthday, and you can imagine his face when I says that's getting binned and we had to cancel it. And all those things I just got on me because I was focused on the job. So I gave a lot, and so's Brian, and of course Brian's the one on the pitch, and he's carrying the can in terms of the goals. And how much more could we have done really to get to this, to get even further? Incredibly difficult with the squad we had and the run of injuries that we had. So in a roundabout way, to answer your question, we've done as much as we could do.
Any idea the timeline or when you may talk to the club at all?
No, I mean, I think Ian will hold discussions not only with ourselves but the players who are out of contract as well. So a lot of key decisions have to be made at the club. The first one was appointing the sporting director, which I think was the right route for a club like this. I mean, a lot of signings last season, a lot of money spent and wasted, and you can see that in the turnover of players, those that came in and went back out the door. That had to be got under control, and I think the appointment of the sporting directors it was a key decision. But then it's over to him, and you know, those decisions I hope will come in the coming weeks. And myself, look, I've still got a job here with under 18s, so maybe I'm not in as much jeopardy as the guys who are on contract have been in those shoes. You know, guys who have came to the end, they've played the last game of the season here. These football players disperse, they don't want to be hanging about waiting to see if they're given a contract or not. So those are the decisions that I hope happen pretty quickly.
Do you feel your kind of sporting philosophies are very compatible with the sporting director? Obviously, former Northern Ireland under-21s manager, you youth heavy. Do you think that's a good fit?
I think it is. I think it's the way this club's got to be. I think you can see that reflected in our squad selections, the group of players. I mean, we are now a cash-rich club that can host a squad of 25 boys on £1,500 a week. It's just never going to happen with us. So we have to have that blend of youth coming through that we can trust. And obviously my experience being under 18 certainly helped facilitate that, because we were in a real pickle in the last couple of weeks and some of the boys have stepped up. But Ian obviously has roots in that. I'm pretty sure that's his level of thinking. But there's plenty of other CVs in for the job and plenty of other managers who have got a good track record with youth players that he probably will be considering. But the pleasing thing I think for Ian and whoever it is that takes the job is I've seen some of those youth players. Jamie Lowe, a couple of weeks ago we gave Liam Rooney his debut, Matty Faulkner his debut, and tonight 16-year-old Liam Dolan his debut. That's quite something when you're in the mix for the playoffs. So no meaningless games within that. Every one of the players earned their place in the team, in the squad, and it shows a bright future for Partick Thistle if the right manager's in place to play them.
So is it fair to say that whoever takes the job is coming into a club that's got a lot of momentum just now?
Well, I would certainly hope so. I mean, the club is a massive club. We just need to manage it in the right direction. If that means I'm going back to the under-18s to develop players, then that's the job. But you see the connection with the fans are there. Some of the players that are under contract for next season are top players and maybe just needed a bit of time to adjust to this season, and maybe they haven't hit the heights that they'd hoped to. But I think a second season you'll certainly see the best of them mixed with some of these youth players coming in. It's a good place for the club to be in with a sporting director and a solid structure behind it. So here's hoping we get all that right. We get a few signings in, and the product's a lot better, and we get a lot better results next season to get us into Premiership.